In the world of professional wrestling, drama doesn't always end when the cameras cut to black. Behind the pyrotechnics, championship belts, and choreographed chaos lie stories far more explosive. Real betrayals, real heartbreaks, and real consequences. The same superstars who sell loyalty and honor inside the ring have sometimes lived the opposite outside it. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on the real-life scandals that blurred the line between love and betrayal, moments when passion became chaos and loyalty tapped out. And it all begins with a power couple born out of one of wrestling's most controversial affairs, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Long before they became WWE's royal family, their love story began in scandal. It was the early 2000s. Triple H was already a main event name, and behind the scenes, he was in a serious relationship with fellow superstar Chyna, the ninth wonder of the world. The two trained together, traveled together, lived together, and to the fans, they were inseparable. But as the cameras rolled on a budding on-screen romance between Triple H and Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie, something unexpected happened. Fiction slowly turned into fact. Backstage whispers started, late-night meetings stretched longer, and before long, that scripted storyline of affection had crossed a line. Chyna found out the hard way, by discovering love letters from Stephanie hidden among Triple H's things. What started as a storyline about power in the ring became a real-life love triangle that would shake WWE's locker room to its core. The fallout was brutal. Chyna, betrayed and heartbroken, walked away from the company entirely. Triple H, meanwhile, found himself vilified by fans who saw him as the man who chose ambition and the boss's daughter over loyalty. But in the strangest twist of all, the scandal didn't end his career. It made him untouchable. Within a few years, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon married, merging the man who played the game with the family that owned it. What began as a storyline seduction turned into a corporate empire built on controversy, and it remains one of wrestling's most infamous real-life betrayals. The kind that proved in WWE, even love stories can have a heel turn. But Triple H wasn't the only one whose personal life blurred the line between storyline and scandal. A few years later, another locker room favorite would find himself in an affair so explosive that it shattered friendships, ended marriages, and spilled straight onto WWE television. Edge. By 2005, he was one of the company's rising stars, the rated R superstar, all swagger and spotlight. But behind the scenes, Adam Copeland's real life was spiraling into something far darker than his villainous on-screen persona. While married to Lisa Ortiz, Edge began an affair with Lita, who at the time was dating his close friend, Matt Hardy. The betrayal didn't stay secret for long. Matt found text messages, proof that the two weren't just friends on the road, but lovers hiding in plain sight. When Hardy went public, fans were stunned. This wasn't a scripted feud, it was real pain, real anger, and real heartbreak playing out across message boards and news headlines. The scandal exploded so violently that WWE initially fired Matt Hardy to contain the chaos, only to bring him back once the audience turned on Edge and Lita, booing them mercilessly at every show. But here's where it got wild. Instead of burying the controversy, WWE leaned into it. They turned the real-life affair into a storyline. Edge and Lita flaunting their relationship on screen, Hardy vowing revenge, and the world watching a genuine love triangle unfold on live TV. For Edge, the affair cost him his marriage and his friendship, but somehow, it also ignited his career. He became one of WWE's most hated villains, the man everyone loved to despise because the heat was real. What began as a private betrayal became one of wrestling's most infamous sagas, proving once again that in WWE, the most unbelievable storylines are sometimes the ones that actually happened. But if Edge's scandal felt like a soap opera gone too far, what came next showed how messy things could get in the digital age. The kind of scandal that doesn't break in the locker room or tabloids, but explodes online for the entire world to see. Seth Rollins. In 2015, the self-proclaimed architect of WWE's future found himself at the center of a very different kind of chaos, one he couldn't script his way out of. Rollins was engaged at the time, riding high as one of WWE's biggest stars, when his personal life suddenly went up in flames. Literally with the tap of a screen. Late one night, social media lit up with leaked photos, explicit, unmistakable, and impossible to ignore. The images showed Seth and Zara Schreiber, an NXT performer, in private moments that weren't meant for anyone else's eyes. The catch? Rollins wasn't single. His fiancée, Leigla Schultz, had discovered the affair, and in a storm of heartbreak and fury, she posted the pictures herself. In seconds, Seth's double life was exposed to millions. Fans didn't need gossip columns or anonymous insiders. This time, the evidence was straight from the source. WWE's official social feeds even briefly mirrored the scandal before they could shut it down, making the humiliation complete. For a man known for his precision and control inside the ring, his personal life had spun wildly out of it. Rollins apologized publicly, called it a personal mistake, and tried to move forward, but the damage was done. His engagement was over, his private world burned down for everyone to see. Yet somehow, like so many before him, he rebuilt. The scandal that should have ended his image didn't. It hardened it. Seth Rollins walked back into the spotlight not as the golden boy, but as a man who'd already lived through public shame and survived. A reminder that in wrestling, even the cleanest heroes can have their masks ripped off in real time. But scandals don't just expose weakness. Sometimes they tear down legends. And no fall from grace hit harder than this next one. Hulk Hogan. For decades, the Hulkster was untouchable. The all-American hero, the face of professional wrestling, the man who told kids to train, say their prayers, and eat their vitamins. But behind the brother bravado and the bandana was a life spiraling quietly out of control. By the early 2000s, his marriage to Linda Hogan was crumbling under fame, reality TV pressure, and temptation. And then came the affair that changed everything. In 2006, Hogan was secretly filmed sleeping with Heather Clem, the wife of his best friend, Bubba the Love Sponge. It wasn't just betrayal, it was the kind of violation that turned a living legend into tabloid fodder. The footage, hidden for years, surfaced publicly in 2012 as part of a leaked sex tape, and overnight, the hero millions grew up cheering became the headline nobody could believe. The fallout was nuclear. Hogan's 25-year marriage imploded, his reputation was dragged through the mud, and the legal battle that followed would redefine privacy laws forever. Hogan sued the gossip site Gawker for releasing the tape and won, walking away with a $140 million judgment that bankrupted the company. But even with the victory, the damage lingered. The image of Hulk Hogan, the moral icon, the family man, was gone. In its place stood a reminder that no amount of fame, fortune, or muscle can save a man from his own decisions. For the first time in his career, Hulkamania wasn't running wild. It was running from scandal. From legends in turmoil to golden boys with secrets, even the cleanest image can crack under pressure. John Cena. For years, he was the face of loyalty, hustle, and respect. The ultimate clean-cut hero who never broke character, never broke rules, and never broke hearts. At least, that's what fans believed. But behind the scenes, things weren't so spotless. In the late 2000s, Cena was married to his high school sweetheart, Elizabeth Huberdeau, while juggling a full-time WWE schedule, Hollywood auditions, and the pressures of being the company's franchise player. Somewhere in the chaos, the doctor of thugonomics lost his rhythm. Rumors began to circulate, quiet at first, then deafening, that Cena had been unfaithful. The most persistent came from fellow wrestler Kenny Dykstra, who claimed Cena had been romantically involved with Mickie James, Dykstra's then-fiancée. Screenshots, tweets, and backstage reports painted a messy picture. A secret affair, broken engagement, and the cracks behind Cena's perfect public persona. By 2012, Cena's marriage had fallen apart. Divorce papers were filed, and though neither side publicly confirmed the affair, the damage was already done. The face of WWE had become the face of gossip columns. Yet, in true Cena fashion, he didn't hide or spiral. He just kept moving, burying the scandal under work, fame, and silence. In the end, Cena's scandal didn't destroy him. It reminded fans that even the cleanest heroes have chapters they don't read aloud. Because in wrestling, reputation is everything. And once the crowd smells blood, there's no hiding behind the entrance music. From clean-cut heroes to certified bad boys, the next scandal didn't hide in the shadows. It flexed right in front of them. Batista. By the mid-2000s, the animal was unstoppable. Muscles, charisma, championships, and a fan base that adored him. But behind the swagger was a trail of broken promises and bruised hearts. Batista was married, successful, and living the dream, until temptation caught up with him. In his 2007 autobiography, he admitted what fans already suspected. Fame had gone to his head, and loyalty wasn't his strong suit. He confessed to cheating on his first wife, Angie, during the height of his WWE fame. The travel, the attention, the chaos of life on the road. But that wasn't all. Around 2006, Batista's name got tangled in another controversy, an affair with Melina Perez, one of WWE's most popular divas at the time. The twist? Melina was dating fellow wrestler John Morrison. Word spread fast through the locker room, and the tension was real. Morrison reportedly confronted Batista, Melina denied, then admitted, and suddenly the animal had gone from superstar to scandal headline. Batista didn't shy away from it. He later admitted the affair and called it a mistake, but one he owned up to. In the ring, he played the part of the unstoppable powerhouse. Outside it, he was just another man who learned that even the strongest can fall. Not from a punch, but from a bad decision. From locker room rumors to full-blown heartbreak, some scandals hit close to home, others hit like a steel chair. And for this next one, it wasn't just a marriage that broke apart. It was a friendship, a family, and a legacy. Kurt Angle. The Olympic hero wasn't just known for his intensity. He was known for discipline, pride, and that famous line, "It's true, it's damn true." But in 2008, truth came back to haunt him in a way even he couldn't wrestle his way out of. Behind the medals and the main events, Kurt's marriage to Karen Angle was falling apart. The pressures of fame, painkiller struggles, and the endless grind of the wrestling circuit had already put cracks in the foundation. But what came next shattered everything. While working for TNA Wrestling, Kurt's personal life collided head-on with his professional one. Karen began a real-life relationship with Jeff Jarrett, not just a co-worker, but the company's co-founder and Kurt's colleague. When word spread through the locker room, it was more than gossip, it was war. Fans didn't know whether to believe it, but then came the confirmations. Divorce filings, public tension, and an undeniable chemistry that moved from private whispers to public fact. Kurt and Karen's divorce finalized in 2008. 2 years later, she married Jarrett, sealing one of wrestling's most talked-about betrayals. The affair became so infamous that TNA eventually turned it into storyline fuel, with Kurt forced to perform segments alongside the very couple who had torn his life apart. It was uncomfortable, raw, and painfully real. Kurt Angle never publicly trashed them. He chose silence over spectacle, but the hurt showed in interviews years later. He admitted the betrayal cut deep, not just personally but professionally. A man built on integrity had been blindsided by disloyalty, and it left a scar that even an Olympic gold medal couldn't cover. From Olympic gold to gold chains and champagne, the scandals didn't stop. They just turned up the volume. And no one lived louder than the man who made chaos look cool, Ric Flair. The Nature Boy didn't just walk the walk, he strutted it. Robes dripping in sequins, champagne flowing like tap water, women lined up like part of the entrance parade. But beneath the laughter, limousines, and catchphrases was a life spinning out of control. Because when Ric Flair said he was stylin' and profilin', he wasn't exaggerating. Through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Flair's career was defined by excess. Money, fame, women. He didn't just taste the high life, he drowned in it. Married 5 times, Flair treated commitment like a championship he could drop whenever the next challenge appeared. By his own admission, he cheated so many times he lost count. "I was married," he once said, "but I lived like I was single 365 days a year." His lifestyle became legend, and his downfall. While he was the ultimate playboy in public, at home, the lies stacked higher than his title reigns. His wives caught him more than once, and the divorces piled up with the same frequency as his championship wins. By the time Flair hit his 50s, he had blown through fortunes, lost multiple marriages, and left behind a trail of broken promises that no apology tour could fix. But here's the thing about Ric Flair. He never pretended to be innocent. He owned the chaos. He laughed about it in interviews, told his stories on podcasts, and even turned his infidelity into part of his brand. The robe, the diamonds, the woo, they were all armor, built to hide a man who lived too hard and loved too recklessly. In the end, Ric Flair didn't get caught cheating. He bragged about it, and somehow, that made him the most honest sinner in wrestling history. Scandals come and go, but some leave behind ghosts that never quite fade. And in this case, it wasn't just a betrayal, it was a heartbreak that followed her for the rest of her life. Tammy Sunny Sitch. In the mid-90s, she wasn't just a star, she was the standard. Blonde, charismatic, and electric on the mic, Sunny became WWE's first true diva. The kind of personality who could steal a segment without ever stepping into the ring. But behind the spotlight, her personal life was unraveling in ways the audience never saw. She was in a long-term relationship with fellow wrestler Chris Candido, a man who'd been with her since high school. They rose through the business together, loyal partners trying to survive the chaos of the wrestling world. But fame hit fast, and so did temptation. Rumors swirled about Sunny's closeness with top stars, none louder than her secret affair with Shawn Michaels, the company's poster boy at the time. For years, it was whispered about backstage, denied in interviews, dismissed as gossip, until Sunny herself admitted it. She revealed that while traveling with WWE, she'd cheated on Candido, and the guilt tore her apart. The locker room knew. Candido knew. And yet, he stayed by her side even as the relationship fell apart under the weight of betrayal and addiction. By the time Sunny went public with her confession years later, the damage was already done. Candido had passed away young, and she was left carrying the weight of both loss and regret. What began as a glittering rise to fame became a slow-motion collapse, proof that not every wrestling scandal ends with headlines and lawsuits. Some end quietly, with a broken heart and a memory that never stops replaying. Every scandal has its spark. Some start in secret, others right under the bright lights. And for this one, it unfolded in plain sight, between two of WWE's biggest names at the height of their fame. Sable. In the late 90s, she was untouchable, the face of WWE's new era of glamour. With her trademark confidence and daring attitude, Sable broke barriers and drew eyes wherever she went. Off-screen, she was married to Mark Marrow, her real-life partner and former boxer turned wrestler. Together, they looked like the perfect duo, beauty and brawn rising through the ranks side by side. But perfection has a short shelf life in wrestling, especially when fame starts whispering new possibilities. When Sable returned to WWE in 2003 after a long absence, something had changed. Her career reignited, her popularity skyrocketed, and amid all that spotlight stood one man, Brock Lesnar, the company's young powerhouse and future world champion. Their chemistry was immediate, undeniable, and not exactly professional. Rumors of late-night phone calls, private travel, and quiet hotel meetings spread fast backstage, and soon Mark Marrow didn't need rumors. He had proof. A voicemail from Lesnar confirmed what everyone suspected: the affair was real. Sable's marriage ended soon after, and by 2004, she and Lesnar were openly together. To the wrestling world, it was shocking, the veteran diva leaving her husband for the new alpha in town. But Sable never apologized for it. If anything, she seemed freer, more defiant than ever. In an industry built on spectacle, her personal life became one more headline, proof that in wrestling, love stories don't end with fairy tale kisses. They end with broken vows, new beginnings, and sometimes a beast waiting at the other side. So out of all these real-life scandals, which one shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. We're curious which story had you saying, "No way that really happened." And before you go, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable stories from the wild world of wrestling. You don't want to miss what's coming next.